anger and disdain. And he says, no, that's what you did last night. And that's what you're going to continue to do. So anyone who wants to be with you and around you has to do the same thing, because you're doing the work. You can't go back. Okay, we love you.
I can't go back. Thank you, guys. I love you so much. Seriously, I was about to go eat a burrito. Gross, right? Help me. I'm like, God.
I'll talk to you soon. Have a great week. We love you.
Thank you. I love you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, have a great show.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Hey, Marie.
I love you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Marie.
Hey. Hi. Did I do it? I think I figured.
You did. I take it you were on with Charlie. I just saw you.
I needed some extra love. Hold on, let me tell you all about it. Are we good? So that was live already. That's interesting. I can never. Really, hold on. Okay, I did it.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Hi.
Blessings
Greetings.
from Spain.
Greetings. Who's that? Is that Nicola?
Yes.
This is our first time together.
Yes, it's lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too.
I'm so connected to you, Marie.
Say it again.
I said that wonderful to be here, and everything that you are sharing is has been my journey, and it's amazing what we share. The things we have in common is beautiful. Where we're going.
It really is, you know, that whole line that we all have been saying, hearing all of these years, that we're all one, has a whole new meaning. Because we're now feeling each other. So they were like, oh my God. Like the first time Nicole reached out to me, she was like, you just said everything that I'm feeling and thinking. I was like, I know. Like, it's because it's all of us. And some of us are just really, you know, willing, I think, to channel this collective energy that we're all feeling. And I think that for whatever reason, I raised my hand a long time ago and was like, I'll do that. And little did I know that it was just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and deeper and more people. And so for me, the opportunity to be with people all over the world and to be receiving messages, a little bit of a feedback. Is it okay for you guys?
Yeah, Nicola, if you could just mute your mic whenever you're not speaking. We're getting some, yeah. Nicola, if you just mute your mic whenever you're not speaking.
This opportunity just becomes more and more of a blessing. So if you popped on before I was totally ready, I reached out to Charlie and Colleen this morning because I was like, oh my God, I'm fried. Justin, I told you, you're so my brother. I'm like, I'm fried, like on the ground, annihilated. And I was like, if this is the 40 days in the desert, then okay, I get it. But wow, do I have more respect for our friend, Jesus Christ? Whoa, brother, like if this is just like 2% of what we were talking about in that story, then so much more respect, so much kudos, and so much more willingness to do what my yoga teacher said to me a long time ago, which was to ask for more. And we've talked about this a lot in our community, that this is a purification process. And I have asked for this, and so have you. So anytime you're getting fried, ask for more and know that this is a part of God's plan for us. And so I was so grateful to be able to hop on with them and just, really share what was on my heart. And I think that that's part of the healing process that a lot of us skip. we skip the sharing aspect of it, the real raw sharing. Like, I'm sad. Is there anybody out there who can hear me? You know, like, I'm sad or I'm afraid. And what Charlie just reminded me just now, which was so beautiful, was that feeling of going inward, that feeling of needing to go into the womb and close the door and tell somebody, you know, you don't get to give me your shit, or that energy, like that experience is you, your higher self, returning to stillness and to silence, to the womb. So you curling down and crying at the reality of you birthing yourself in your highest self, that's like, wow, that's beautiful. And that's what's happening. I think that I've been trained, and I don't know about you guys, I have a sneaking suspicion, given we are all connected, that when I feel sad or I feel fried or I feel like it's just too much, I get frustrated even more. Anybody else? I'm like, this shouldn't be the way it is. I should be, you know, bright. I should be myself. Like, I live in paradise. I'm at the beach. Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I nervous? What's happening? And I think because I've been riding this wave, it seems, you know, a big wave. I think around January 6th was the last time our, you know, one of our favorites, I think you know who I'm talking about, kind of adiosed for a little while. And ever since then, it's kind of felt like a wave. And I feel like a lot of us were riding it pretty good. And then it crashed. And this happened literally the other day in the ocean, where I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Anybody else been in that situation before with a big fat wave? And the next thing I knew, I was like, you know, like getting torn up by the wave and the sand and the feeling of, I know this is going to end, but it feels like it's lasting forever. And that's what was happening. And so what happens in those situations is you just got to let go. You got to just know that that turbulence, like that getting caught up in the wave, is going to end, but you're held by the mother. And that's okay. Like, that's a blessing. She's the only one that can hold you right now. She's the only one who knows what to do with you in those moments of fear and discomfort and frustration and thinking you're going to get taken away, you're going to get sued, they're going to come after you, or whatever it is that we're all seemingly running from. That is our opportunity to go inward and to let all of those false idols fall away, because you're held. And whatever frustration is happening, whatever that is a lesson. And we all know this intellectually. I'm not saying anything to each and every one of you that you don't already know. You know this. You already know, oh, this is a lesson. Da, 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 da. I know it's for my purification. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get smarter. I'm going to get stronger, whatever it is. But there's something that happens in that moment where we forget. And I wanted to share with you how potent this was for me over the weekend, because we've talked a lot in our communities around the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and the child energies. And hi, Kazri, hi, friends, hi, Siobhan, hi, everybody. I just am so happy to see your faces. And thank you for holding the space, my mighty companions, for me to share, because it is very healing for me to be able to be fully self-expressed. And for whatever reason, doing that in this container, in a Zoom room and on YouTube Live, seems to resonate with other humans. And so that means for me that that's God's work, and I just need to keep doing it, keep showing up. And it's not about being perfect, and it's not about any of those things. It used to be for me. It used to be about having not so much a script, but having my ammunition, having my things together so that I could go and I could put on a show for people and always be like, look, I got my shit together. Sorry, you don't, but I do. Like, that's the old. This is about, look, all of us together are learning how to get our shit out. Not together, like literally and figuratively. How do I get this shit out? How do I get this stuff out of my field? How do I release myself from this energy? And so with the divine inner family, there's two ways of looking at this that have really supported me and that I'm learning on a whole new level in these last few days and with this entire truth movement and experience. And it's this. there's anger. And I've suppressed it for a long time. Anybody else do this? Raise your hand. Anybody else? You know, put on your smiley yellow face, like your emoji, when you want to effing punch somebody. Okay, so I'm not the only one. Phew, good to know. All right, well, so that happened. I had some anger come up. That the feeling of it was fire. I felt the acidity. I felt the fear inside my body. And my first response was, oh no. And then I was like, but maybe this is a good thing. Maybe I need to just sit with this, because in the past, what did I do with my anger? And I have a sneaking suspicion you might have done this too, is I eat something, or I drink something, or I watch something, or I distract myself with something so that I don't have to look at the anger because it's too much fire. And I don't realize that within me is the cool energy of the mother. That's the only response to the fire that I'm kind of going through. And so what happened was I was like, all right, I realized, and my ego was like, well, if you did this, this, and this would go away. But I was like, actually, it won't. I'm pretty clear on that. And that was a huge win for me. Are you guys still with me? Where I was like, I realized that even if I wanted to do all of the old things that generally at least suppressed my anger, it wasn't going to work. I needed to sit with it. I needed to be in the fire, and I needed to learn how to connect with the feminine. But what happened next was that after the anger and after the feeling the anger was sadness. You guys ever seen that movie Inside Out with the little people? It's a really cute movie. The really cute. Anger's this little red guy and fire comes out of his head. And sadness is blue and all she does is cry and everything's really sad. It's really adorable. And joy is like this bubbly. And then there's fear and there's disgust. And it's really fascinating. Anyway, the sadness. So there was the anger, then there was the sadness, and then there was looking at the inner child who was overwhelmed. And those are all of my adapted energies. All of us have these energies. And adapted, when I say adapted, I mean the parts of me that haven't evolved yet, that are still learning, that are still healing. Whereas if I'm in my authentic energy, generally my adult energy, like really embracing my healing and all of those things, my divine energy of the masculine is passionate, proactive, productive. My adapted feminine energy would be joyful, anchored, really grounded, connected to spirit, listening. She can hear. You've all felt these things, right? And then what happens to my inner family with the child? Well, if my inner masculine is really passionate and productive and structured, and my feminine is joyful and anchored and listening for guidance, and she's feeding the masculine, she's telling him which way to go, she's guiding the energy, right? Then the child is playful, curious, excited, at peace, safe. Right? So we have this adapted energy and we have this authentic energy. And the goal and all of this transformational work that we've all been tapping all of these years is about spending more time in the authentic energies of the inner family. But at some point, I feel like I started faking it. And this has been so beautiful for me to just be with the adapted energies, just to be with them and to not make them wrong, and to not judge them so much. And that really was empowering for me, because what happened was not only did I move through them faster, but the whole time I was kind of in that like whirlwind of the wave, I knew I was safe. Like I didn't just think it, like I knew I was safe. I knew I was going to come out of the other side of this wave. Even though I was like, oh my God. Even though that was happening, it was amazing because there was like this golden like light around me, and it was doing it. It was doing the alchemy work. It was happening without my effort. and it was all good. It was really, really powerful for me. And I just want to say to all of us that, you know, when you start changing your diet and when you start, and Charlie just said this to me so beautifully, like when you decide you're going to do this work and you're going to become alkaline, and that's what happens, you're saying goodbye to everything. Everything. Goodbye. And that's real, guys. Like that process is real. And we've got to feel that. Because otherwise we're permeating the insanity that all of us are trying to get out of. If we fake it and we're all like, oh, it's great, you know, it's hard. It requires difficult conversations that we want to avoid. Who else wants to avoid difficult conversations? Probably not this group. You guys are all posting, you know, crazy shit. But, you know, for a lot of us, I think on an intimate level, we don't want to have difficult conversations. We don't want to. We just want to be in peace with everybody. We just want to be in that state where it's all good. I think that's why we love each other so much, even though we only know each other through rectangles. But what happened for me is that this last few days has just been a level of clarity that has been very nurturing. And I think that that's the energy we all need right now. We need less judgment of self and more nurturing of self. And that doesn't mean you allow yourself, you know, your ego to have a party and be like, oh yeah, you know, I just said to Charlie, like the option is either I get my shit together or I go eat a burrito. This is the level now. And because I'm healing, and I think all of us are healing really deep stuff, whether you know it or not, like, you know, if it's physical, if it's mental, if it's emotional, if it's all of the above, whatever it is, we're healing at a core level. We're returning to that authentic space. And we all want to be in that harmony with our inner family. But as that's the grounding, that's reality, that's what is, there's a process of getting in there where a lot of our baggage has to go. We can't bring all of our bags into that vibe. Anybody else always overpack? I always overpack. Always. I've always done it my whole life. I show up for a 1 week thing. I got 2 suitcases. Of what? Of nothing. But in this journey home to that harmony, to that 432, to that bliss, to that mountaintop, Amber said this to me today. It was so perfect. It's like we're climbing this mountaintop, but we have to pause at times. Otherwise, we're going to get altitude sickness. Because we're trying to race to the top of a mountain. We're trying to commune with this beautiful energy of God, which is in us. We all know that. We've all tapped it, but we're trying to do all these things, but we're also still having a hard time accepting the times when we're not maybe perfect or when we get taken down a little bit. And I just wanted to be the first one to say to all of you, you're doing great. Can I just say that? You're doing like, wow, so amazing. Like really, really, just that you listen to these shows, just that you've tuned into this conversation, just that you've made simple changes in your diet, just that you post something positive for somebody, like that's amazing. Because you're basically saying to God and the universe, can you please take away everything from me that's not you? Everything. He's like, sweet. Another one bites, you know, whatever, showed up. Another one showed up to bat. But some of us didn't realize really what we signed up for. And I was one of them. I had no idea what was coming for me in terms of, you know, call it demons, I had no idea what was coming for me. I thought it was great. Oh, it's all good. Nasara's going to show up. It's all going to be great. I remember the first time someone told me $100,000 wasn't going to be in my account on December 21st. I was heartbroken. I was like so naive. I really thought it was going to be that simple. But you know what I'm realizing through all of this, and Colleen said it, it's like, you know, the carrot in front of us and we're all kind of chasing it, is that every benchmark we hit, we need to celebrate that instead of being like, didn't happen the way I wanted it to happen. Because I think that that's part of this. It's the same thing with the inner family. It's like, these are all steps. We're climbing Jacob's ladder. And if it's another, carrot up there going, oh, well, it's going to be March 4th. And that gets you a few more weeks of keeping your vibe high and drinking your freaking juice and not eating burritos and not just stopping and throwing this whole thing away because it's just too hard. Then keep your eye on the ball and take the few extra steps. And when it moves up again, that's okay. Keep going. Because you're trying to climb the spiritual mountaintop. And no one said that was going to be easy. No one said that was going to be easy. No one said it was going to be rainbows and butterflies the whole way. I really want rainbows and butterflies. And I see like rainbows and butterflies very often. Like, there's butterflies here that are like this big. Magic butterflies, like life-size butterflies, like trip out butterflies. And my kids are obsessed with unicorns. So, I know that that's the journey. I love that conversation with Charlie and friends about the unicorns. I love all of that. But this is, the deeper we're going, the deeper our roots, the higher our branches. So we're digging in. We're running into some dark stuff underground, literally and figuratively. And I just want to be the one to say, look, it's all good. Even when it's not, you're safe. God is so proud of you. Your mother, your divine mother, has got you in a way that, Siobhan, has got you like in a way that, I thought I had some spiritual grounding, but I literally was like, I had some fear come at me that was not mine. And that's what it is. A lot of times it's other people's energies in your field. And when you have other people's energies in your field, it's wrong. Straight up. It's not going to feel right. You're going to be disturbed because it's not your energy. And sometimes I've found for those of us lovers in the world, we're so open. We're so like, ding, 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 and we're so generous and we've got, all this stuff. And we sometimes forget that, there's some weird energy out there. And so we find ourselves in trouble sometimes. And then we get mad at ourselves. It's not any reason to be mad. It's just alchemize the energy. Trust that the wave is going to throw you back out. I got out of the water that day, literally crawling. I crawled out on the beach. I was like a flat, like on the beach, flattened out, covered in sand, and my eyes and my ears was like, my body was shaking. Then what? Well, I crawled up to my towel and I passed out. And I asked somebody to bring me a coconut. And then a coconut showed up. And then a beautiful woman came and sat with me, beautiful mama. And then we had this amazing conversation. And the shaking stopped. And the breath ensued. Because I don't know about you guys, but wow, do I forget to breathe? I'm a yoga instructor. If I'm forgetting to breathe, guys, like, wow. Shallow breath, whoa, no oxygen. Literally giving that dark energy space to just take you over. But the part that always reminds me that it's all good is to know that there is space, there is this seed within me that's invincible. And that's who I want to be when I grow up. And that's the part of me that I am, even when I'm not. So whatever that's going to happen, that's not about that crystalline center, that beautiful inner work, whatever's not that is being burned away. And I asked for it. So, it's all good. Siobhan, we listened to your album last night in the car. We were looking around for land. We found some beautiful plots of land yesterday for this community to come together. And we're just now really getting things on a whole other level, which is why I think I'm getting so fried. Because Spirit's like, look, I said all. Where we go one, we go all. I meant all of you. Anybody else do that? No, am I the only one? Whew. Wow, right? Big stuff. Big stuff. But it was really potent. It was really powerful. And it was really encouraging because in the end of the wave and the little bit of a freak out last night too, was just knowing that and seeing actually with my own two eyes and actually my third eye, that no matter what hardship comes to me, suing me, you know, sending me scary letters. I mean, I got all sorts of craziness coming at me these days. I mean, some serious crazy shit. Immigration. I was just like, this thing gets so weird when you start to see it just from a little bit higher. I mean, I'm not on the top of the mountain. I'm not, but I've taken a few big steps and I'm starting to look and I'm going, whoa, this it's getting crazier by the day. By the day. And every step I take, more of my attachment to it has to go. Here's something before I open it up, I really wanted to say as well. We have an operating instruction, or well, we don't really have, you're my community now, so I'm going to share it with you. I'm only responsible for my thoughts and feelings, and I will allow others to be responsible for their thoughts and feelings. And you know, that's all really cute and really solid and sweet and everything until someone says, you know, you're a scammer, or you're a liar, or you're a this, or you're a that. And why this work is so important, because I'm only responsible for my thoughts and feelings. And if I'm still being impressed upon, if other people's thoughts and feelings still can waver me and who I am and who I think I am, then there's still work to be done. And that's okay. Like, thank you. And thank you, Charlie and Colleen, for getting on the phone. And thank you, beautiful, mighty companions, for sitting here and nodding your head and keeping your eyes clear and open and doing your part in the healing and in the salvation of the world. Like, you're doing your part. Every little step is massive. It's magnetic energy. You're putting it in that direction. It's very powerful. It's very, very powerful. Never underestimate your power. But yeah, other people's thoughts and feelings are theirs, and mine are mine. And I think the work for us as we continue to go through these 40 days and nights, being tempted by the devil, is to know this. What you think of yourself and who you think you are is the most important. You know, if you think you're innocent and you know your heart is pure and you're in it for the love, then that's all that matters, because you're responsible for yours and they're responsible for theirs. And other people don't get to tell you who you are or who you're not. If you are a liar, then you are. But if you're not, you're not. And who gets to decide that but you? You get to decide who you are. And that's this work, is like, oh, look, I am this. That's me. All the rest of this craziness, that's not me. Nice, Nicola. So I'm so delighted to be with you. I just wanted to give that little sharing before I opened up the circle today to see what's on everybody else's hearts and minds and all of that. But wow. Anybody else get fried last week? Apparently there was Mercury retrograde and there was all the stuff. And I was like, it's all me. Amber was like, it's not just you. You're not the only one. Not the only one getting fried right now. It's happening in the sky. So of course everyone's feeling it. And all of you said you'd show up. So all of you tuned on to channel God, you all did it. So of course you're going to get a fry. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Thanks for being here, you guys. Go on, Justin, my brother. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Wow.
I love you so much, and thank you so much for sharing so powerfully and so vulnerably like that. I feel it. It's that breath. It's that breath. It's that breath just coming out, and it passes through me so powerfully, and I know it's being shared so tangibly with all of us. So thank you for that. Seriously. And yes, I certainly have felt fried this past week. It has been a wave of I'm seeing some kind of old patterns emerge and creep in, which is, you know, like you said, it's an exciting invitation to lean into it, but it can be very daunting. It can be very terrifying almost when they do come up, because it's like, wow, I thought I had gotten that one. I thought I had done that one. I thought I was over that, but here it is again. And for me personally, it's been the martyrdom aspect of trying to be the martyr and trying to really put myself out there in a little bit too much of a way, and not leave time for myself. And that comes from, I know it stems from, like, ultimately it always stems from fear, and the particular flavor of fear is that self-worth, that I'm not enough, that I need to overgive myself in order to provide that. And so yeah, it has certainly, yeah, just going through that and really sitting with it and seeing it and standing in it has been, it's been a process. But I love what you said about really owning what's yours and leaving the rest. And I always like the analogy of my hula hoop and what's in my hula hoop. Everything within my hula hoop is mine, and everything outside of my hula hoop is not. And that can get really, we have to protect our hula hoop a lot of times. You know, that's like setting those divine boundaries and saying, you can't come in here. And if I don't let you come in here, there's nothing that you can do. And that can show up in many different ways, even if someone is not trying to maliciously attack our hula hoop. It could just be trying to vie for attention or trying to gain something from it. But I have to be firm within my hula hoop and recognize that this is my safe space. This is my realm. This is my kingdom. And so really standing in that power and standing in that knowingness that what's within here is mine, and nothing outside of it can affect it unless I let it. And that's that switch. So as long as I stay within that and really acknowledge that I have that sovereignty, I have that power within it, nothing can affect it. That's been really helpful for me this past week, and really all the times, to just come back to that realization that this is mine, this is my kingdom, and I have to take ownership of it. I have to take responsibility of it. And by shining within that, I can keep it, and I can share, and I can help, and I can be that representation a lot more beautifully, instead of allowing that kingdom to be overtaken, because that helps no one. It doesn't help me, and it doesn't help anyone else. So yeah, that's been what's coming up for me this past week.
You know, that's all. I love that, the hoop, like, this is mine, and owning your space and all of that. And the only thing is that maybe it does help them. Let's just pose it that way. Like, maybe it does help me and others when I do feel like I've been imposed upon, or I let somebody get to me. You know, that's vulnerability. And there's a power in that too. There's a power in, like, fuck, that really hurt, man. You know, like, come on, dude. Seriously? Like, there's a power in acknowledging that as well. And it's not the power that I like, or the one that makes me, you know, really resonate or feel like, oh yeah, I'm in my vibe. But it seems like it's a step sometimes in this world of contrast, when we're trying to learn what we want. It's like, and I so resonate with what you said, and I think I can speak for everybody. It's like, we all thought we did some work, and this is all like, wow, next level stuff that has been very surprising too. But I guess what I'm wanting us to do is just learn about how to say no. Yeah. And when you are not saying no, like, look at that too, because that's, you called that experience in because, like, you needed next level stuff there. And that's what I realized too. Like, this information for me has taken me, like, let's say I was here, okay, and then this information took me, like, all the way over here. And now I'm all the way over here. And then this center is getting all the way pulled out there. And so now I'm like, okay, the middle way, like the center for me, is new territory. It's familiar though. It's like a little nuance. It's familiar, but it's new. It's different. It's different than it was before I went all the way out here. And so now it's like, I think a lot of us have been like, well, who the heck am I? Like, what is good? Like, there's been a lot of that. Like, well, whoa, I haven't eaten for days. Like, how can I do this? Like, is this possible? Like, everybody says that, it's all of these things. And that's what I think is like, when I said to Amber too, I was like, this is like the deepest stuff ever. And that's why the journey to alkalinity is the ultimate, I think, because we're saying goodbye to everything, but on the way, we have to say goodbye. I used to like not say goodbye to people. Anybody else that I'd be like, I'm just not saying goodbye. We'll see you when I see you, But like, you have to show up. You have to say goodbye to that demon. You've got to say goodbye to that relationship. And it was like what Peter said the other day to us, Justin, like, our not saying anything is saying something. So it's like taking more control of the narrative. It's that healthy masculine that I know my masculine is all wounded. My right side, all my injuries wrong, right? Is really like learning how to work with my passion, work with my productivity. Because when I went all out here, I was like, fuck that. I'm not doing anything productive. Forget it. I'm not sure. I'm not doing any. But it was like finding that way back to the middle of the hula hoop and being like, okay, I want to be in my inner family right now. So, okay, how do I marry my passion with my joy? How do I find joy in working on the computer again? Instead of just throwing it away, showing up for things I have to do and just throwing it away. Well, that's anger. That's adapted masculine energy. That's frustration. So it's looking at the energy to be like, oh, where is that coming from? Okay, so how do I switch that? And not asking my ego, which I generally tend to look to for advice, is like going to my higher nature, like listening for guidance and knowing that it's there. Anybody else? Like, I'm getting like, wow, well, that was a full and complete sentence. Awesome. There's muscle testing. There's pendulum, there's prayer. There's, sometimes the Holy Spirit, the Christ can speak to us through our friends. That's a powerful way too of learning for clarity. Well, look, that's why in the beginning of this conversation, it was like, can we share our hard days? Can we say, look, I'm fried. I'm wrecked right now. And I can't fake it. I used to be able to fake it. I think it was because I ate fake food. I can't fake it anymore. It's literally impossible. I will just start crying immediately in front of strangers. Like, I met someone on the beach and she said something so beautiful, I started to cry. Like, oh my God, what is happening to me? Like, the sensitivity, this level of aliveness. Wow, it's a lot. It's a lot to learn how to embody this energy. This is new for me. This is new. I was much more about like a little bit of an actor. I think we're all kind of actors, We've all been trained to be actors. And what you said too, Justin, before I open it back up, was so powerful about not being good enough. God, isn't this good? Like, is it good enough? Isn't it good enough? Isn't love enough? Now you want money? What else do you want? Do you want my house? I don't own anything. What else? Do you want my bracelets from my grandmother's? Here, how about these? Is that enough for you? And then it's just like, okay, keep taking it. Just like nothing can take away the crystal within you, even death. So it's like, am I enough? Like, what's enough? And what's enough for me, not for others, because it's never enough for them. This system, it's never enough for them. It's like what Peter said. They already got paid. Fuckers. They already got paid. And they want more from you. They want your soul. So yeah, it's like, look, I'm alive. I am an alive son of God, daughter of God. And it's that. And sometimes I cry in public. And sometimes I judge people for wearing masks and drinking alcohol. I do. I'm kind of getting to my limit with this mask business. I can't take it anymore. Please wear a mask for everybody's safety. I go raise my hand. What about my safety? I don't feel safe wearing this fucking thing. I don't feel safe. What about me? Just for the fear? We're going to keep coddling this fear. We're going to keep protecting the fear. Everybody's fear. I'm like reached my limit. I think that's was like all of it. I was just like an angry, crazy person. And you know what? It was good for me. And it was good for you too. It was good. Because otherwise I'm going to suppress it and I'm going to create some other mass in my body because I'm that powerful. I'm that powerful. I have, you know, the energy that holds stars in place inside me. It's a big responsibility. Are you with me? Yeah, it's not a joke. This thing is not a joke. I said to Amber, I was like, this is like a lot. He goes, oh yeah. He's like eating a raw pepper. He's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I go like, this is like ultimate. Oh yeah. Like, dude, you gotta go. I need a break. I love you. But you gotta go. He's like, I know, I'm leaving. I'll be back. I'm like, okay, good. Because I love you so much, but like I'm getting altitude sickness now. I gotta process. And that's another thing too. Is like, is it okay to process? Is it okay to push the pause button? Is it okay to let your inner child have a tantrum? Like I work with children, like, you know, no, stop. No, it's like, all right, well, look at, we're having, this is happening right now. And what do? I hold the space. Why? Because I'm the mother in this scenario. I allow. I know it's passing. I know it's not permanent. I just allow this because I'm that powerful. And I know it's not going to change me other than purify me for the better. It's not going to change the essence of who I am. And that's what we're all seeking. That's what we're all doing. It's like, who am I? Am I enough? Am I lovable? Am I good? Or am I bad? Well, if I listen to everybody else right now, I'm bad. If I listen to all of you beautiful people, then apparently I'm doing something right. So where am I going to put my energy? Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm really glad that we're having this conversation right now because I realize I'm not the only one. Like last week was really difficult and there's nobody to talk to. So I'm really thankful for you guys, you know, and it's just the mask thing's getting to me too. And, you know, I kind of went in when I heard Charlie and Josh talking about the, this alkaline diet. I didn't really have a transition period. I kind of just went all in and I didn't really think it through. And so it's kind of caught up with me where the cravings are coming in really strong. And, you know, and I ended up having some popcorn with stevia and coconut oil on it. And it wasn't even good, but I ate the whole bowl and I was sick for 2 days. And it wasn't just like physical, it was mental, emotional, spiritual. And yeah, just a lot of emotions hitting me like a wave, you know, and it's just so beautiful that we can come together and share the raw vulnerability. Cause I feel like in the world, you know, we're so used to just, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. And like, I'm not fine, you know, but people don't really want to know what's really going on for you until you get into a community like this, where it is about love and it is about just accepting each other where we're at. And we're all on this journey and it's a journey. And even if you're, you know, still drinking coffee or still, you know, have some other stuff you're struggling with, like, it's okay. We're on the journey and we just have to be a little bit more gentle with ourselves because it's so easy to have that judgment, you know. And I tried to fit into communities like 12-step groups and it blew my mind when Charlie did the God's numerology of 1 to 12. And it cracked all of that stuff, these 12-step groups wide open for me. Cause it's like, there's a little bit of truth, but they're not giving you the truth about who you are and what we're on this planet and all of that. So like none of that stuff helped me, you know, and so I just got more and more lost and more confused. And, you know, the truth really does shed light on everything, you know, and it brings us together. And then you see, you know, there's a big divide happening in the truth community here, even on our local level, kind of similar to what's going on on the bigger platforms, you know, the two Charlies thing. And it's happening in our groups. I was censored and kicked off and called all kinds of names in a private message. And this is, you know, just for, you know, trying to say to people, you know, this is what I've found, maybe do a little bit of research before you invest money or send these people money. And I was like slammed for that. So I see that there's a divide, and it's like, what side are you on, really? Because yeah, there's a lot of truth community people that are awake, but are not willing to get onto this path, and then will attack those of us that are. So it is really important that we stick together. So I'm really thankful to be with you guys all. Thank you so much. I love you all so much.
I love you, Sarah. We all love you. What a beautiful share. Wasn't that amazing, guys? Wow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it's what I'm starting to realize, like those attacks too, Sarah, like they're just afraid. They're like, wait, what? I can't eat steak? Like, fuck you, crazy lady. And it's like, yeah, man, you can't. I'm sorry. It's a dead animal. It's going to make you sick, but do it, whatever. Like, but if you really want this, like if you want to talk about truth and holistic truth, like this is the journey. This alkalinity thing is the ticket to heaven. That's this is the next level. I mean, you can stay at that level. It's hard for me to watch it because it's disturbing, but I'm learning, whatever, to not, put on my stuff. But yeah, I think that that's what I'm coming to, is that when the attacks are coming, what's giving me so much power is knowing I'm on the right path. Like you can attack me all you want, but I know the level that I'm going at. And I also kind of know where you are. Why? Because I can see and I can hear, and I have something that's very important that not many people have these days. Common sense. Like, ooh, common sense. Like, it's not that difficult. Like, I don't know what happened to people. But here's the thing, like the woman who's suing me, it's so crazy. She's literally Botoxing, okay? She's drinking obscene amounts of coffee. She talks to me about all her health problems for 4 months. I mean, like, it's a mess. It's a mess. And I think to myself, am I going to get upset about this? And now she's found, an attorney. Well, what are attorneys? What do they do? That's what they do. So it's like, I know this now. Thank God I have the awareness, I'm learning. But am I going to let this person who's struggling, God bless her, she's literally possessed, take me down? Like, okay, maybe for an afternoon, maybe for a night, okay, that one was good. Now you got to my husband, okay. Now you're getting in here, okay. Okay, you win this match, but I'm coming back for you, sister, and you better watch out, because the truth will set you free. And I'm going to tell her the truth. And if she doesn't like the truth, then send all the letters you want. But at some point, I have to give up the narrative. She's responsible for hers and I'm responsible for mine. And I've tried, to be kind. I've tried to be generous. I've tried to be rude. I've tried to be angry. But am I going to go, meet her at that level? She won maybe 1 or 2 matches in this tennis match, but no, I'm going to win the game, because I know that this is the path. And then we all know this. We're being purified, and we're all at different stages. And thank you for sharing the popcorn thing. The cravings are real. They come back, and they're layered, because you're healing 7 generations. Okay. So like you're healing, 3 grandmothers ago, her addiction to whatever that was. You, Sarah, are a powerhouse of a being. You are not to be messed with. All of you here, like, we are not to be messed with. We are spiritual warriors. Like, this is no joke. We're taking on stuff that, is really potent. It's no joke. So yeah, okay, they won that match. Okay, you had 2 days in the bathroom or whatever of sickness. Okay, but still, you're gonna jump back on. And it's a bummer. I know that, because you feel like, oh, the work I've just done, and you beat yourself up and all that. No. That's what your ego wants you to do. Beat yourself up and tell you you're not good enough, you can't do it, all the stuff. But that's again, who's the boss of you? You're the child of God. Curiosity, playfulness, your mother energy, getting back in check, listening, anchored, grounding. What do you need to do? What do you need to unplug from? What meditations do you need? What tools? What journaling? Just getting back on track. Ego doesn't want you to do that. It's going to throw you all of its, It's got a treasure chest of memories too. It's like, oh, I'm just going to give you that one. Amber told me this was going to happen. Your memories are you're going to remember stuff you can't, you're like, what? Why? Because it's here for your blessing, for your healing. Literally, you're going to sprinkle your fairy dust on that and nurture it out. It's your deepest sensitivity. It's your deepest wounds coming to the surface, not for judgment, but for love. Because only light can diffuse that energy. Go for it, Justin, please.
Just wanted to quickly add on to that, in a perspective that really helps me is to try and dissolve any sort of that victim mentality, and really recognizing that victimhood is a complete farce. It's a myth. It's a myth pushed on us to keep us small, to keep us in this place that things are happening to us, that we're worthless, that it's outside of our control. And if you can really switch that conversation when things happen, and instead of saying things happen to me, they're happening for me. Just that one simple alchemy, that one simple word shift. This is happening for me. This is happening for my benefit, no matter what it is, because it always is. It's always, we're always connected with God, and God is always leading us exactly where we need to go. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's like we really don't want to do it. But ultimately, the trajectory and where God is trying to lead us to is that beautiful place that we truly want to get to at our highest self. So really switching that conversation and saying, this is happening for me. This is for my benefit. This is all happening for me. Really helps me to get into that space of not feeling like I'm powerless, and then I can really take responsibility and step into it. But yeah, just wanted to share that quick thought.
Way to go. Who else? Go for it, Nicole.
So I just want to tag on to what Justin just said too. So I've been in a situation for a bunch of years now with a certain individual who is incredibly triggering and very much attacking, like all the time. And this is someone I spent 15 years with. So if you can think about us as an energetic being, the people that we're with, we kind of share energy space with them. And so being very, very connected to this person in the way that you might imagine being connected to a parent, a child, a spouse, I had a really hard time as being a really highly sensitive and empathic person of kind of knowing what was my energy and knowing what was that person's energy. And so when that person would come at me, the attack would feel, it didn't even feel like it was coming from the outside, if that makes sense. It just felt like all I could feel was the energy of anger, hatred, shame, punishment, deprivation. I mean, I could go on with a list of things, and it took me years now. Like I would say only in the last few months have I begun to understand what Justin was talking about with the hula hoop of like, wait, who am I? Like, what is my energy compared to that energy? And then it's actually been like this process of elimination, kind of, Marie, like what we're talking about with juice fasting and everything, this process of elimination, of allowing that to be not mine anymore. And as I've allowed that to go farther away and drop away from me, I've found this new sense of who I am. And then the interesting thing is, while that was happening on this personal level for me, it was also happening as I went down all these rabbit holes and started to understand the bigger truths of what our world is and is not. So as that part was falling away, so was my whole concept of what the world was, and what we all are just raised to believe. And like you're saying, Marie, 7 generations back, I mean, even more than that. So this falling apart, falling away feeling, I think it's incredibly vulnerable, like you were talking about, because when it falls away and we're left with, okay, well then who or what am I? What part, if I'm only responsible for me, then, and I'm no longer responsible for everyone else's perception of me or the world's story of me, and it's now just me, then it's like you have to learn a whole new relationship with yourself and your own truths. And it's so foreign, the path to that, even though it's been written, in the sutras and, the Bible and everything, although that's the case, unless you're willing to go into that space and learn from that ancient wisdom, or like someone like Charlie bringing that to light, or a group like this where we can talk honestly about it, it can feel, I think, really just so isolating and so lonely. And then that's the place too, I think, where the ego has another opportunity to come in. It's like, oh, so you shed all that, but let me play with you for a little bit now because you're extra vulnerable. So it is kind of like an onion. It's like one little challenge after another. And I do believe that we have to acknowledge that there will always be a challenge there. Like, to believe that we're getting to the top of that mountain that you were talking about, Marie, like the sacred mountain or the spiritual mountain. It's like there's always going to be another challenge. You're not going to somehow get to this place where it's like, oh God, it's all over now. You know, I don't know that we ever get to that place. I would hope so. I would hope we'd find, we definitely find those vistas, like the samadhi moments where we feel like one and we feel connected. But I think it's important as a group to just always be reminding each other that, hey, you know, definitely you're going to have a new challenge every 4 steps you take, and we're here for each other. You tell me what your challenge is, I'll tell you if I've been there before. I'll tell you what I know about that challenge. Like, I was so grateful last week with everyone who stepped up to support me with going raw. Like the community, Marie's Mighty Companions Facebook group, you know, a whole new group popped up just to support people who are going down that path. And it was just like, you know, you show up and people show up for you. But bringing the energy back to like, okay, who am I? And the remembering of us, like, who am I? And once you get to that point, at least this has been my experience recently, is like when it gets small and it's just down to me, who am I? Like, I am God. And like that's been kept from me for 45 years. I didn't know that. Like, how did I go for so long without knowing that? But it's so true. Like, I am God. That's what we all are. That's what each one of you is. That's what every person here is. And when someone is coming at us in the way that maybe you're being attacked, or like you're in the middle of a court case or whatever's going on, or people just social media, they're being themselves. Actually, I have a great story about that too. But remembering that sometimes that's there just to remind you of who you are not. Like, sometimes that comes up to be like, oh, the reason that feels so crappy is because it's so the opposite of what I resonate with. So thank you, God, for the message. Thank you for reminding me of what I do not want to be, what I have never been, or, you know, there's just like what I feel like is wrong in the world. And I just have one more quick thing I want to say is this past weekend was my birthday. So I went down I live about an hour outside of Philadelphia, but I went to Philly for, you know, to have like a nice experience, nice food and whatnot. My last hurrah before I go down this path. And the city is so masked. I couldn't believe it. It felt like I walked into the Twilight Zone. Like, and people were walking around in the city streets. There could be a street where there was nobody, like not a single human being, masks. There was a point where I was walking down the sidewalk and I'm not wearing a mask. I'm outside in nature. Who the heck would wear, not nature, it's the city, but still, who would wear a mask outside? There was a man who, because we've had so much snow in the Northeast, like the cars in the city are parked real close to each other with big mounds of snow sort of surrounding them. He was walking toward us and he was wearing a mask and a face shield. He climbed over the mounds of snow between the cars into the traffic. Well, there wasn't much traffic on that road, but it was a road where you could have easily been hit by a car or even a cyclist, just to avoid us, because he would have been on the same sidewalk as me and I was unmasked. And like, there's a part of me who maybe 2 years ago would have been like, oh my gosh, I caused him discomfort. And I would have taken the responsibility of that. That was me. I would have done that. I would have been like, oh, maybe I should feel shame, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. And instead I just like laughed. I was like, wow, like, it's amazing how different you can feel when you've gone through those stages of growth, where it's like, no, I know I'm doing what's right. I know I'm aligned with truth, like a higher truth, and my truth, like the God truth. And so I think once we get into a place where we can experience that, it just becomes like, okay, those reflections are there, but interpreting them changes. It changes when you heal. So
Beautiful.
I think that's all I wanted to add to it. But I like the hula hoop idea too. I've needed to hula hoop a lot. Like, I've learned the lesson of pulling my energy back to me and not being so concerned about the reflections.
Beautiful. Who else wants to share? Wow, thank you for that, Nicole. Yeah, the mask wearers. Crazy. Go on, Nicola. Tell us what you got, babe.
I would love to share. This week, I'm taking a little bit of testimony from what everybody said. They're literally staying in my sovereignty. And this last week, literally, things have come at me to try and trigger me. But I've stayed. I've literally stayed in my joy because I know that I've done my work. I've done my work. And so everything around me that's not resonating with me, I keep my observation on the beauty of where we're going. And that's my joy. The beautiful retreat that I'm envisioning, and I'm having amazing dreams. I literally last week lived in the park because I just wanted barefoot on Mother Earth. And she literally just told me that you're in a place where you're ushering, you're resonating, and you're ushering other people to feel that there's so much beauty and so much to look forward to. It's not all about just getting triggered all the time, and we will. I don't think that will ever leave us, because there are people on different vibrations living alongside us, the mask wearing, until people catch up with you. But that's not our problem. It's just that we stay in our conviction when we're doing the right thing for ourselves and our children and everyone around us. We feel stronger, we feel more confident, we feel proud. And this is literally what's filling me with joy, because I know I'm really standing in my truth. And what I've given everybody, I focus on the good. What I've resonated out to everybody this week, I've seen so much generosity come to me. And solutions are coming, and I just focus on this. If there is a problem, I focus, I shift, I acknowledge, and I just incline towards a solution, but stay in my joy, and it's working.
Thank you for sharing it. Well, you're really speaking to that feminine energy of joy and that groundedness. And when you're grounded, you're like, things can come. You know, we used to call them curveballs. It's like something you didn't ask for, but that you got anyway. That's a curveball. You know, but you're just like, you're in it and you're protected and you're seeing the generosity of God, you know, and that magnetic energy. And that's a beautiful thing. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Go ahead. Who's that? Barb, and then Sabina. Oh, wait. Go ahead and unmute yourself, sweetie.
There it is. Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, I don't know how to put my name there. It's the first time I'm using my iPhone. I just wanted to tag into something that Marie had said earlier about like getting emotional and all this other stuff. Is I found too, when I first went vegan, because I was vegan and now I'm going to the raw vegan. You're like detoxing not just your body of stuff, but I think you're detoxing emotional stuff as you tend to eat differently. So you will see that, because I've certainly seen a lot more of that now that I'm doing the juicing more. So I think that's totally normal. And I think it's a great thing, because it's a humanizing thing. It's actually the way we're created. Now I'm getting chills, so I know I'm speaking truth, because lately I've just, whenever I say something that I guess God likes, I'm getting chills. So right now I'm getting chills, so I know I'm speaking the truth, that when we show our emotion, that's actually when we are the most godlike. Oh. That's what it wants me to tell you. Okay. So, and I know this for a fact too, because it happened to me a lot. And I think it's, at first I thought it was like hormonal or like an age thing, you know, but now that I've evolved, I think it's to do with that. It's to do with changing the way, you know, your intake, your water, everything. So I know I've changed a lot in the last like 5 years, and this has all happened. So, and I'm still evolving, right? Like we're all going to be changing all the time. And then as far as cravings go, totally normal. Like I'm right there with you. Like the popcorn is the one thing that, you know, Brent and I have definitely still had once in a while, and it's something we're trying to let go of, but it's very difficult during these times because, again, it's that one last thing, you know, it's like, ugh, you know what I mean? Because I'm a salt person, so I've never been like the sweet side. I've been more the salt. Now I'm learning to love more sweet because of the fruit, but I've always had the salt tooth. So I do get, you know, people's cravings, and that's why I'm challenged to make such creative raw foods. So to show people that you don't have to give up so much, you know, you can enjoy it. You just have to find your way through it, right? Like I just look at recipes and then I alter them, you know, like do it to your taste, right? I'm Italian, so I have a very particular taste palette. And so I'm always like looking to see how can I, you know, I made raw ravioli for God's sake. Like, you know, I'm trying my best to get, because I was raised on complete carbs like pasta, right? So talk about different, you know. I wasn't always a meat eater, you know. I maybe there was some kind of association with me with animals that I didn't really understand at the time when I was a child. I think I did somewhat. I know with rabbits I wouldn't touch it, so it just wasn't fully there. And now that I've changed, it's like, wow, you know, because there's times where you beat yourself up too. You're like, God, how did I not know this, right? But it, you know, here's the simplicity of it. Did your parents say, oh, dinner's ready, we're having a chicken tonight? If you had said that to a child, they'd be like, huh? Or we're going to eat a pig tonight. They don't say that. They say we're going to have pork, or we're going to have chicken nuggets, or, you know, they name these things differently on purpose. That's strategic. Now I get it, right? Because at the time, you know, we called it veal, for God's sake. Like,
Yeah.
You know, as kids, if my parents had said, oh, we just made baby cow, would you like some? I would have said, hell no.
Right. I feel you.
So don't beat yourselves up. Like, this is something that's beyond us, right? It's generations. It's that's the part that's upsetting to me, you know, is knowing that that's a legacy that they, you know, unfortunately not knowing left us, right? But we have the opportunity to change it for the next generation. So now I'm getting chills. So it's good. So yeah. So I just
Thank you for
encourage you guys, like, don't get discouraged. Just stay on the path. Don't beat yourself up if you have popcorn or you have something. It's all about, you know, it's all about what are you going to do about it? You know, are you going to do it again? Or are you going to go, oh, okay. You know, it's just lessons in life. And, you know, honestly, like for me, popcorn, at least I'm not harming an animal. Okay. So that might be a little harder to deal with. So don't beat yourself up for stuff, small things, you know. I think we all have learned that lesson, hopefully now. And then it's good to hear other people, I hate to say that, but it's good to hear other people struggling with the mask thing. Because I thought I was, because honestly, it's made me a different person now. Like I used to go out shopping all the time. Like I was the shopper, right? Like I was like, yeah, even if I didn't buy anything, I would go and look. And I just have first of all, I have no interest in spending the money now, because I feel like it's like, you know, it's just the whole thing, it's lost its interest, which is actually a good thing, consumerism, right? So unless I need something, it's like, I don't feel the need now. But the other reason is because of the mass. I don't want to sit there and watch all these people that are just like doing this. And what's really been driving me crazy this week has seeing so many pictures, like people taking pictures and they're in this mask. And it's like, what, is it dangerous to take photos now? Like how can, at least take it off and put on your chin if you have to wear a mask. Like, this is ridiculous. And are you proud of it? Like, really? I mean, why can't we see her smile? Is there something dangerous about seeing somebody smile? And now I see why I get looks sometimes, especially from men, I find. And it's not that way, but it's like looking at me like, because I'm like, I'm smiling. I guess they don't see smiles very often anymore. I don't know. But they almost look at me like, you know, she's smiling and they're wearing a mask. That's the sadder part. They're wearing a mask and I'm like,
yeah. It's something, you know, we're going to have to look at this. I think that at this point, there's a defense around it. Now it's like, I can't even believe I've been doing it. I'm just going to keep doing it. Now it's like, I'm just going to defend this because I can't deal with the pain of realizing this has all been a, you know, effing joke. And it's
insecurity. They're insecure. That's what I figured out. Because for you to do this and take pictures is like, I'm insecure, so I want to be part of the in crowd. Do you understand? Like they think that the in crowd are all wearing the masks. So that's why they're still participating. And they're trying to make it look cool. Yeah. And it's not cool. It's not cool.
No, I had somebody reach out to me recently. Thank you for going there, Barb. Way to go. Great share. Yeah, and it's two things. It's a journey. That's one thing that Amber was really great with, you know, because with Sarah, like I was like that. I heard it, like it was like Colleen through you were frugavores through all dimensions of time and space. And I heard it in a way that was like, that's the truth. I was like, you know, and so then I just did it. But, you know, Amber was speaking too about, you know, the cleansing process, and it's a journey. And like, so I kind of felt like I backed into it, and I got a dehydrator, and I started looking at raw foods and trying to get my kids, you know, and they're doing amazing. Like, it's blowing my mind how they're embracing this and like understanding it on a way, like they're 4 and 6, like I'm 40, you know. It's beautiful that they're like starting to, well, Mom, you used to say that this was good for us. And I'm like, I know. I'm learning too, you know? And so it's definitely like owning the fact that we're all learning and we're all growing, and that's a part of this big time. But yeah, that you can have the joy, because he's a foodie too. So he's making these concoctions of like raw sauces and like randomness that like my stomach wasn't used to, because I'd just been doing fruit. And so it's like that. It's how are we going to set this thing up in our communities too? And that's what's exciting for me in terms of like having a space and like community kitchens for people to go on the journey. You know, there'll be people that want to detox and only eat grapes for 40 days, you know, and then there are people that are going to want to be here in this level and then at this level, and maybe in their own homes if they want a block of cheese. I don't know. I'm in the inquiry around how it's going to unfold. But I do think that there wants to be just a little bit of attention. You know, some of us are really extreme. Sarah, I think you and I are a lot alike, where it was like, I heard it, I was like, okay, done doing that. But that was a little bit intense for my inner child. And sometimes we have to slow down the detoxifying process, because we've got to, this has to be a holistic experience. You know, it's a journey. So if we look at, okay, I'm going to do this in a year, like think of the spaciousness that allows. Like, okay, and you'll probably get there sooner, but that sometimes that level of intensity might be too much. So I don't know. I'm not decided on this. And I think some people will say it has to be now or whatever, but I want to pass it to Sabina. And thank you, Barb. You're amazing for doing that. And we love your recipes and they're fun. Yeah. Go ahead, sweetheart. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me? Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Sabina and very excited to be in the call today. I find it worked out. And well, I just actually want to add what Nicole said before about joy. And when this whole situation started, the lockdowns in 2020, I actually made a commitment that I will devote my life to joy and beauty and magic, and whatever I have to do to get there every single day. So really, I noticed Mother Nature is the best medicine. And I live here in upstate New York. We have a lot of snow, but I go outside every day. I walk barefoot And that alone gives me so much energy. I go into bikini in the snow and roll around and really, access my joy-like spirit and the childlike spirit that's within me, and really getting there every morning. Has been like my practice. I go running, I jump on the trampoline, I do so many things early morning just to get my vibe very high. So then when I go shopping, I sit in the car and I download the light and I go into the store as fast as I can, like a warrior. I have never worn a mask, and I have been attacked. I have been gaslighted. I have been screamed at. I even had a woman following me from a store to my car, and she would smash the mirror of my car with my 12-year-old son sitting in the car. So this is just one of the abuses that men tell me, I hope you will die. I hope you will disappear from this earth because you're dangerous and you're toxic. And people were circling me. I mean, I have experienced like severe abuse, but I will not wear the mask. I really have, committed to this path of freedom. But I also have given other people the possibility to take off their masks. And it happened twice. I was in the store without a mask, and a man saw me and he took off his scarf he was wearing. So twice it happened, and I have given a few people education on the danger of the masks. And most people don't want to hear it, but a few were actually open to hear it and thanked me for it. And I also have educated my chiropractor who wanted to check my temperature. And I told him, no, I'm refusing to let my temperature checked. And I have given him an education on how it negatively affects the pineal gland. And he actually thanked me too. He said, thank you so much. I had no idea. We're going to look now into a different way to check temperature. So just being a stand for freedom is not easy. It's definitely not a comfortable path, but you can still make difference in people. So I'm continue wherever I go, show up as a warrior for freedom, and really every day feed myself with the medicine that Mother Nature offers us, with the magic and the beauty that's available to all of us. And that has actually been my medicine that really fills my soul so deeply that I can go out there into the war zone. And it has become like a war zone. That's what it feels. Just
so powerful that you said the war zone. Thank you so much. Everybody here is like, wow, bowing in gratitude for your work, because that's serious. I said to somebody the other day, it's your next, Kasri. Who else wants to go? Okay, Kasri. Just one more thing is, I said to somebody, this is like a war. And she's like, oh, no, it's not. No, you're so dramatic. And then I'm like, I was walking to the beach with my kids, okay? And a big car, like a big police guy with loudspeakers, like in Spanish, put on your mask, put on your mask. I'm like, why don't you say put on your shoes? Because I'm not wearing shoes either, and there's glass on the ground. Like, let's talk about that, but put on your mask, put on your mask. And so I kind of like start pretending like I'm going to reach in there, and I come out. And so I said to my friend, that feels like an attack on. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not a real sword, but I felt like that, and I had my little ones next to me. So don't tell me this isn't a war. Let's be real with this, because we can't change it if we're not willing to call it what it is. Oh, it's not that bad. Are you kidding me? How much more do we want to take? Seriously, how much more? Kasri, go for it. Sabina, you're a rock star. Wow. Wow.
I just want to add one more thing regarding the pasta. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to add something regarding the pasta. There's actually, you can make pasta out of zucchini, and also there's kelp pasta. So there's different options.
Yeah. Delicious. I'm so into zucchini pasta. It's like, yum. Yeah. Haven't tried the kelp. Anybody else tried the kelp? Is it like algae? Is that an algae?
Algae, yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Amber says that algae and coconuts are like the foods. If you land on a deserted island, it's like, what do you see first? You see the algae and then the coconuts. So go for it. Okay, Kasri, please. Hi.
Well, hi everyone. A couple of things. The first thing, since we're talking about masks and going to the war zone, where I live, luckily, the government has mandated that medical exemptions are okay, and that shopkeepers are to be courteous, and they're not allowed to ask for any proof or anything. So I've gone everywhere, and I almost go somewhere almost every day just to just to be the light, just to like shine this light. Like, you don't need a mask. Look at me. And everywhere I go, I'm the only one. And so Saturday, I was at the biggest grocery store in our town. This is Prince Edward Island, Canada. And in Islanders, it's like everybody knows everybody, or doesn't matter who you bump into, you know, somehow you're going to know someone. So it's like everyone wants to be polite, and there's probably a lot of passive aggressive, you know, energy coming towards me. I don't know, but no one's saying anything, because that was sort of how it was mandated that people need to be polite. You know, Canadians were so polite. So I was in the biggest grocery store, and I went at the busiest time, which I usually avoid. And it was Saturday afternoon, and I'm on a juice feast, and I want to talk about that. But I was just on day 3, and my sensitivity has peaked really quickly this time. Like there's a speed to this detox this time. There's something different happening to me. And so there I was, and I'm wearing my mask, and I always have my earbuds in all the time when I'm out in public, because I'm listening to like beautiful high frequency, you know, I'm keeping my 5D vibe up. I'm like just so full of joy, because that is my signature. And I just go into these places, like I forget the other lady's name. I can't see all the names, but that Sabina, I think it was, like the joy frequency. So I go in and I'm listening to my music, and I'm just like blissing out, because I'm in 5D and I'm looking at all the muscles, everyone in 3D, stuck in their 3D reality. And it's like, okay, they don't even exist. Like, to me, they don't even exist. Like, how can I connect with that frequency? I cannot connect with that frequency whatsoever. They don't exist. I'm just in there getting my things in and out. And then as I'm leaving, I was walking by, there's the little florist, and there's these orchids. I was going to go and get some tulips, but and I went, no, okay, I just want to go look at the flowers. The orchids, oh my God, I'm just getting this frequency. I stood in front of the orchids, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to get one today, but I just want to look at them. And I could feel the frequency. It was like they were talking to me. And I've not really had those interactions with nature on that level. I'm in this grocery store full of muggles with their muzzles, and I'm in my 5D frequency, and I'm juice feasting, and I'm like vibing so high. And these orchids, they're talking to me. It's like I could feel them wanting to communicate with me. It was the most beautiful experience. And then there were some other plants. Everything that was potted was talking to me. The cut flowers were not talking to me, but it was all the potted flowers. It was just extraordinary. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to get an orchid, and I'm going to have one in my space. So yeah, the juice feasting. So talk about resistance and all the shadow work and everything that's coming up for me this past week. So Kira Kelm, who's in the group here, and her and I, we decided to create this Facebook group, which we're eventually going to move it off of Facebook, because we all know the Facebook vibe. We don't want to necessarily be there, but that's where most people are right now. But so for now, we created this called Surfing Higher, the Garden of Eden Diet and Juice Feasting. I forget, something like that. And it's to support all of us who want to transition. It's not just for juice feasting. It's for, if you want to do the long-term juice feast, which is where I'm finally at after 27 years on a food journey of trying to overcome so many different layers and levels and doing multiple different challenges and detoxes and things. I feel like this time I'm ready to go the whole 90-day or whatever it is protocol that John Rose proposes. So I'm just praying for that support. You know, I'll pray every day for that support to get me through, because I have layers of things that need to be removed physically, and then with the physical, of course, all the emotional stuff is going to come up, and I'm ready for that. And it's best to do it with others in support. So Kira and I started to support just each other. And then when you were on last week, Marie, with Remembrancer, and Remembrancer was talking about the 90-day feast, and that's what we already were talking about doing. And it was like, oh my God, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So we start, and okay, and just to clarify, it's not just for juice feasting. If that's where you're at and you want to do that, like, awesome. But if all you can do right now is like quit coffee and you need support for that, join us. Join us. If you want to just get rid of meat, join us. It's just wherever you're at, that's what the group is for. And so we're just going to keep vibing higher. We just go from where we're at now, we take to the next level. And so as we're creating this group, my shadow kept coming up. Every step of the way, as Kira and I would be collaborating and we'd be saying, okay, this is what we're going to do next. Like, oh, I would put it off. And it's like, oh, I've got this adrenal issue that I'm healing. I'm so tired all the time. It's so hard for me to like find the energy. Like I'm just waiting to have the energy and then I will do it. And every single time there was something for me to do, and Kira doesn't know this yet. I haven't divulged this to Kira as much as we are so open with each other. It just occurred to me now. Every single time there was something for me to do, I was always too tired and I would want to put it off. And then I'd force myself to do it. Okay, I'm committed. I said to Kira, I would do this thing. This group is waiting. We're already like, we said we'd do it a week ago. And like, where's this group? It's not happening yet because I kept getting in my own way because I'm afraid, because who am I to stand up and say, I know how to guide you through this. Like, I'm still struggling. I'm still going through my stuff. So that perfectionism was, and this has been my story for my whole life. This is one of my big shadows to overcome, this perfectionism. Who am I? Who am I to say I can form this group and guide people? So it's letting all of that go. And I love how you talked about that, Marie, at the beginning, the different personas that you had to put on and be this, this idea of perfection to your people. And so, yeah, so every time I started to actually, okay, this is my task. I got to find this file and upload this file. I realized, oh my gosh, I'm like, all of a sudden the energy was there. I wasn't tired. The tiredness, the reason why I'm tired most of the time, I believe now, is yes, there could be some physical issues that need to be cleansed out, but I'm tired from not shining my light. I'm tired from not being who I'm here to be. I'm tired of hiding. And as soon as I stop it, as soon as if I start taking action, I have energy galore. So this is me preaching to me. Woo! Shine your light, Kazari, and all of you. Wow. That is where the life force is. As soon as we start to hide it, it just like, I can go into depression and binge on Netflix on my couch right here, like for hours. That's where I go when I want to shut my light down, when I'm afraid of shining my light. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to live. I want to fully live in my light. Wow. And that's what we're all here to do. And this is why we're all here. I'm getting these chills because that's why we recognize truth. That's why we can spot the BS. Because we are ready to shine our light. We can see it. We are carrying this light. We have a huge light to shine. And we can see the darkness because we are already shining so brightly. They can't bring any of that BS dark shit to us because we already are so bright. We see it. So now it's like, okay, next level. For me, next level is a 90-day juice feast. And putting myself out there and creating this group and saying, hey, join us, come with us. I'm not a leader. I'm just here to shine my light and say, you shine yours. Let's shine together. Let's take it to the next level. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
I mean, seriously, this is what I'm talking about. Mighty companions. I mean, anybody else want to follow that? That was awesome.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Danny, Nicola wants to say something real quick, and then Danny, you can jump in. I know Richard, you wanted to say something. Wow. Thank you, Kazri.
I just wanted to quickly say it's our turn, that we're here, we're doing this, it's a reality, and we're all loving. We can feel the love, we can feel the work we've done. We're in this sacred place, we're paving the way, we're opening the paths, and now it's time, next level, to enjoy the journey. And just allow it all to free flow.
And talk to flowers because, they're awesome, but only the ones that are potted. Don't cut flowers. Yeah. Really good. All right, Danny, I don't see you. I didn't actually realize you were in here.
1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, my video is not going to happen today. But yeah, how much power. And there's just so many incredible shares. And you know, backtracking here, like Nicole, absolutely. You know, now's the time. Enjoy the journey, Kazri. Well, that's it. You kickstarted a group. We're in. Thanks so much for the support and the energy. And like, it doesn't take a leader, it takes a community. And that's what we're coming to. And going back to the initial part, I was trying to find myself a spot where I could get a good reception as I was doing some errands on my phone. I love this, you know, we got the tools, we got the technology, we can do it all at once. We're capable. But yeah, the incidences of like having reoccurring instances of like, okay, what are you trying to show me, spirit? Great, let's just take it head on, and that I'm capable of going for it. And I had one of the things that Marie was referring to, which was it's mighty incredible to witness and to live through, and it's really embodiment. It was like taking a charged emotion and just like unraveling it and the force that came out of it and how it came through. It was like, oh wow, okay, that's pent up energy, let go of. And in the form that it comes, in tears, in curses, in strength. And I've been dealing with some latent fears, and they've just been presented themselves as opportunities, as masks, as like, oh, you know, you need to deal with your resident legal status in the US, or you will lose your green card. Well, Danny, just call them up, tell them as it is. Do it from a place of love, from humanity, and it's in spirits with you. And with my honesty, with my full embodiment of my truth, I know nothing can go wrong whatsoever. Spirit has my back. And it's about doing and being in the comfort of my own journey, without restrictions, without anything stopping me, without having to turn over so that I can fit in a shoe. That's all we've been doing. And at the end of the day, the society is ours. We've created it. We've allowed it for this to take place and happen. Oh, but no, they tell us how to do it. Well, actually, Prince Edward Island, they put a mandate on, as you said, Kasri, where shopkeepers, you know, they have to like allow people to be, and there's medical exemptions, possibly because it's an island community. And you're taking the helm of going, it's okay to be human. It's okay to like be happy again. So it's happening. It's taking place, and we own it. We own this world as humans. So we can take that into power, into consideration. And you know, we have these tools here now. We've had the opportunity to live, you know, with a master's student of gnosis, of raw food, but we were living together, and it wasn't easy for anybody of us, because we're comfortable now in between screens. Now it's coming back to being community, and there's a lot of purging to do to change. So it's doable. And that's the beauty of it. It's really doable. And I'm so grateful for all of you that are taking part in this group and just going for it. And I think about 6 to 8 months ago, I came across some very interesting gnosis around what's happening cosmically, is that also we're stemming out of a polarized way of just conducting ourselves, and energetically into a unity consciousness. The masks are falling apart. They no longer exist. And we put a physical mask on to actually have a mask, but everybody is pretty much, yeah. And like you said, like we have a chance to take out the fear. And I've noticed again how many of us have pointed to the connection with nature, with being bare feet. Marie and I and my kids, we have a recharge session pretty much every Sunday at this beach that we love to go to. It gives us energy. It puts us back in connection with the mother. And then we had an episode of energetic purge, which was like, wow. But I know for sure that there was some conversion, some transmutation of energy. Personally, I felt like, dude, I'm in power, and I'm going to use the tools that I have at hand. I've got this 8-key tool where I set myself goals, where I have operating instructions, where I have boundaries, so important. and just state them. This is me. This is the journey that I'm on, and I'm sharing it with clarity and with honesty and with direction. Wow, being directionless, not so fun. Being focused, great. Sharing it, even better. Enthusiastically, whoa, I'm a kid again. I'm open to having fun. And then I'm open to possibility. And then the orchids say, hello, hello, I love you. Let's connect. Let's do it. I love it. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening in.
Thanks, Danny Russell. All right. This is so cute. Wait, Richard wants to go, Justin, and Siobhan, I do want you to sing. I just texted you. I just saw that. If you got it in you, which I don't know you do. Okay, Richard and then Justin. Is that okay? He's been waiting. Tell us, Richard, what do you got today?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm feeling the same as everybody else. This last week has been awful for me. Even now, I mean, I've got an ongoing dizziness issue that I've been dealing with for a number of years, which got worse around August, September last year. Still waiting to get into the hospital to find out what's going on. When I came on with you guys, it got a lot worse. I go through bouts of it, so that's why I've been kind of lying back and seeing me touch my head and everything. It's like an overwhelming energy over my head. It's amazing. It's making me feel rather sick, unfortunately. I'm trying not to bring it all down again, but this past week has everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. My washing machine's packed in. I have no washing machine. I got the guy out today. He said it's going to take £80 odd to fix it, or you could get a new one, because it's not a simple thing. It's quite a big problem with it. I don't have a job. I don't have an income. I have English benefits, which that's not very good at all. So old me would be gone right now. I'd be on the floor in the fetal position thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? Why is this all happening to me? I'm now at a level where I'm like, okay, so that's happening. That's giving me an opportunity to chat to a friend of mine who's a washing machine repairman and connect with him again. And now I'm like, okay, fine. It's done. It's over. I need to find the next step. Put the intention out there. Let it come to me.
Beautiful.
With the dizziness, I'm kind of getting used to it, but if anybody's had dizziness, you understand what I mean. It's completely encompassing. I'm trying to find the right words for it because it's just so much. But
do you know how to do a downward dog?
Yeah.
I wonder if that would help.
I actually tried a YouTube video. This Asian gentleman who goes through these abilities just to clear the sinuses, because my doctor thinks it's a sinus issue. Did that for 3 weeks, didn't do anything really. So I'm still kind of grabbing at straws, trying to find out what's going on. But I will give that one a go. I've been meaning to get into the yoga for a long time now, but I don't really have a lot of space where I am.
That's okay. You don't really need much. I can see where your couch is. Move it back a little bit. You need maybe 2 feet that way and 6 feet this way. And there's a couple videos on our channel. We're going to start doing more of that kind of stuff too. We're just now kind of getting going. I know, Justin, it's so fun to do yoga with you guys online. And breath work. Nicole is talking about breath work. I mean, there's so many things that can be done. It's like what Justin said earlier, like we're not a victim. So if you're feeling victimized, it's an opportunity to be like, okay, we all feel it. It's not like you're unique in that. Like we all feel at times like, oh my God, this is happening to me. But it's always an indication of like, okay, where do I need to put the light? Like what needs to be done? And coming here and sharing that is part of it. Like, hey, a few people saying breathing, yoga, but it really is up to you, right? What are you going to do?
That's it. About me taking control of the situation. I'm in control of my life. Nobody else is in control of my life, apart from God, of course. And that's why I set the intention of where I want to get to, what I want, and leave the how up to God, because the how's not about me. I just got to be in that moment to respond when I get that.
Awesome.
And I'm getting there, but it's a tough one because England is possibly the worst place in the world to be at the moment with regards to all of the CV stuff. I mean, I heard a lot of people talking about masks, and there has been some serious stuff around here about that as well. Like Justin said, that I'm exempt. That has worked for me throughout the entire of this, and I am exempt. I can barely breathe in it. I've got the sinus issue, which would just knock me out. I wouldn't be able to stay standing up if I was wearing a mask. And luckily, around where I live, there's not been a problem. People don't attack me, don't challenge me. I say I'm exempt, that's it, job done.
Nice.
But I think it's finally going. I have a real big sense that the 10th of April is a big day. Don't know why, felt it for months, possibly about a year, but April is the time. And I just feel like it's all just going to go away.
I think we're all praying for that, brother. It's like, we're going to wake up from this friggin' dream. It's going to be like, wait, what just happened?
Our Prime Minister's just come out. I didn't watch it because I don't watch the TV and the news and stuff, but he's just come out with this roadmap of getting out of lockdown and easing everything. And a few of my friends have been talking about it, and I've had a look on it, and they're saying, at the end of March, we can do a little bit, and then by June, we want to be all kind of coming out again. I'm just like, no, not June. Not just now. Do it now. There's no point anymore.
Well, if everybody started talking about how they were exempt, maybe it would stop. I mean, I just think it really has a lot to do with us. Like, and that's why I think a lot of us are getting so friggin' annoyed with these cats. You know, it's like, why? I know someone who's got now these huge sores on her lips because she's wearing this fucking thing. It's like, wow.
I was talking to my mum about the mask situation. Last time I actually physically saw her, we went out for a meal. And she said to me, one of the most confusing things I've ever heard my mum say. She said to me, I should have respect for others by wearing a mask.
Yeah, and that's what they tell you.
I just sat there with a confused look on my face. I couldn't even respond to her because it's more respect for others if I don't wear a mask because I'm exempt. I'm not going to put it on my chin. I'm not going to say, okay, I'm going to comply. I know how bad they are. I know where it leads to. I know what it was done for. I would rather spread the information and wake people up with truth than falsely put on a mask and say, oh, this is going to work.
Wow. We have our work cut out for us, friends. We certainly do. But it's like what Kasri was saying too, Richard, you know, shine your light and just keep owning it and work on your health. I think that's one thing that we've put aside, and I certainly have for a long time. Like, yeah, I'm going to save the world, but I'm not going to save myself. I'm not going to take care of myself. And Justin, you alluded to that earlier. It's like when you have an issue, like, let's sort that out, because that healing, that lifting of your vibration is what's going to move this thing. So let's never underestimate that the work that we do on ourselves, how potent and powerful it is for the collective. And so, yeah, you've got some opportunities to look at. And I hope you check in with us again next week and let us know, like, you know, how's it going? You know, what changes have you made? Try yoga maybe twice, you know, 10 minutes. Do the first 5-7 minutes of the video just to put your energy in that direction, because we get to decide, you know, do we want to feed the crystal within? Do we want to, you know, or do we want to feed our egoic self? It's, you know, it's just 10%. I love that analogy. That it's not an analogy, but I love that Charlie's always reminding us. It's only 10%. You only have to pay a dime to get to the other side of this. Like, it's not even like you have to pay that much. Everybody's got a dime, you know, and that's awesome. But it's just doing it. It's just putting one foot in front of the other and trusting that you're worthy. A lot of us working with worthiness issues right now, like, we're worthy of this. The kingdom of God is our inheritance. These guys stole our inheritance. They stole it right from under us. They call us paupers. Peter Wilson blew me away. I mean, I had to like get in bed after that. I was just like, what? I mean, literally, we got in bed. I was like, just go, it's a lot. But whoa, this is our inheritance.
Sorry, yeah, I was going to say he blew my mind too, Marie, and I was so delighted that you had him on. And I learned so much from that one day about responsibility, because I kept thinking, oh, who'll I get to do it for me? I can't do paperwork, and damn sugar, who can I? And then I was like, I think you said it, and I was just like, fuck, I have to do this now. I actually have to now start being a straw man, because I need to start the process, because we can't be waiting for Nasara, and I can't stay doing nothing here, doing, I don't see anybody, I don't really meet anybody, and we have this family, and that's great. And it's about owning the responsibility. We have to bring it back to just owning our responsibility. Do that damn work. And I don't want to do that paperwork for the UCC-1528 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And then I'm thinking, I need somebody to do this with me. I need somebody to do this with me. And I'm like, no, you're going to just have to do it. I remember doing my application for the O1 visa to move here, and it was the most stressful thing I ever did in my whole goddamn life. And she threw me in the deep end. She was a horrible person, the lawyer and everything else. But like, I did it though, and I got my green card. And now, now I have my green card. But I mean, it's a huge thing, responsibility. I keep thinking I can ask somebody else to do it, but no, you just have to keep bringing it back to ourselves. We have to do that. We have to do it, just on a physical and logical basis, to move forward. And you're always happier for it.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I want to do with this and this whole community and with the Peter Wilson stuff is just like, let's spend a little bit of time on it every day. Like, that's what I'm going to kind of do, or every other day. Like, I need to structure this thing, because otherwise I go into overwhelm. So I hear what you're saying with the paperwork and the information overload of it all. It's just like, let's get centered every day, every morning. Let's get grounded. Let's take deep breaths. If you need to run around in your bikini in the snow, that's a great idea. But I know, number one, sometimes I forget to do the things that I need to do, to be, and it's really important, so that we can show up and do this stuff that we don't like to do, to play these freaking games and to jump through these hoops. But this is a part of us reclaiming, our inheritance, which is freedom, which is abundance, which is grace, which is community. Look at how they're keeping us apart. Thank goodness we have things like this, but this agenda gets worse and worse. It's just, and the people that aren't looking at it and are still poo-pooing this whole thing, like, wow, I'm really working deep on the practice of forgiveness. It's not working, because it's not working. Justin, did you want to pop in? And then I want to finish the show up with Siobhan. You guys are just really, this has been so healing for me. I love you all so much. Thank you.
Yeah, I love you too. Love you all. Sure, yeah, I'll speak just real quickly. I wanted to touch on what Barb said earlier about God, about emotions being the gifts from God, or for us to use, and it's so true. But I want to kind of expand on that a little bit, and I always love saying I love emoting responsibly, because emotions are extremely powerful. They're the fuel for our spells. They're the fuel for our magic. And so what we've been trained within organized society is to always have these stimuli that are triggering our emotions, so that we're just spouting emotions, directing them and blasting them left and right, and unknowingly causing harm or damage to people when we don't really realize what we're doing. So really getting centered within that and recognizing that these emotions are extremely powerful. They are so powerful. And if we can acknowledge that and really transmute them and use them and alchemize them into the way where we're directing them into creative energy, it can really manifest into some extremely powerful things. So just wanted to add that little note there on emotions in general, but that was all. I love you all so much.
Nice. Yeah. Energy in motion. Energy, emotion. And thank you for saying that, because it's important. A lot of people just want to, someone in the circle, Mr. Danny Russell, gave me a load of his emotions. And I was like, dude, those are not mine. So it's like we need to learn how to deal with our stuff. We really do. We can't just keep giving it to each other. That's why we're so all annoyed too by the mask wearers and all the people running after Sabina, telling us, you're running after me with your fear. I don't have that fear. That's your stuff. And that's what's such a rub about a lot of this, is that we think it's socially acceptable to be giving each other our stuff. That's been like, that's because we watched Friends. And we watched that stupid stuff on TV where it was like they yelled at each other and then they had those dead ghost overall laugh things. I just found that out, Siobhan, remember? Where there was like a laughing of like, people arguing on TV and yelling, and we thought that was funny. It's not funny. And those laughters are from the 1900s, by the way. Amber just red pilled me on this. And they're basically dead people laughing. How creepy is that? They're laughing at us. Like, that's creepy shit. This thing gets creepier and creepier the deeper you go. That's why we've got to get brighter and brighter, because we didn't even have any clue how nasty this thing was. I had no clue. That's why I'm in recovery, and why, it was okay to just yell at people at the dinner table. Like, you think about family dynamics and they're just like, when was that okay? Well, it was when we were all so wounded. No one had any tools, and we were all so intoxicated. And this is what you have, an insane society. Are you with me? Craziness. Time to go. We're on our way out. We are. We're doing it. And so, Siobhan, just real quick, as you sing. So yesterday we're driving in the car, and we were listening to Pink Floyd, America. We had the kids and the whole thing. And so my sister, we were listening to a little of my sister. We were listening to Van Morrison, and she's like, I don't like this. And so I put you on. And she's like listening, and she's like loving it. She goes, Mommy, Siobhan has such a great voice. It's kind of like mine, right? Right? It was like, I was like, yeah, Ruby.
She knows. She's in her own power.
She's going to lose her mind when she meets you in person.
Oh, that's great. She's what?
She's going to just be so excited to meet you in person.
Oh.
She's here. Hey, Ruby. Ruby,
I'm excited to meet Ruby. I'm excited to meet anyone.
She's going to sing. Look at, she's going to sing. This is Adam.
Hi, Adam. Look at you. I love your hair. I have a little nephew called Thomas, and he is 11 or 12 now, and his hair is like that, but it's actually longer, and he didn't have to cut it going into secondary school. And he's just like, I'm not cutting it. I'm like, I love you.
Don't you like that? You don't want to cut your hair?
That's what gives you your strength, isn't it? You're going to be really strong like Samson.
Yeah.
Look at those gorgeous eyes and beautiful face.
He's really a sweetie.
Oh. I was going to do this new song that I wrote called America, and it's up on my Wiznosis channel. I haven't warmed up or anything now, so I don't know what way this is going to go, and I'm still looking at the I'm going to shove that away a small bit. Sorry about the blinking noise from the flipping laptop, but it's very annoying. I don't know what to. Can you still hear it? Yeah, it's actually better when I put it away, but then I don't know. Okay, we'll see. Let me know if it's. Can you hear that? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm supposed to pick this. I won't pick it. I'll play it this time. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Never think yourself as average. I wouldn't go into lose. Together we have the same mission. You'll find that things are not always fair. You have to put your head down and fight, fight, fight. carry yourself with dignity and pride, pride, pride. America, America has always been the land of dreams. America, America, a nation of true believers. The story of America is the story of adventure. The story of America. Big dreams, humble beginnings. Demand the best for yourself. The more people tell you it's not possible and that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined to prove them wrong. The more certain you should be, you must keep pushing ahead, 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 ahead. No matter what the cynics and the doubters say, believe in yourself. Have the confidence to speak your hopes, express the hope that burns within your soul. Remain true to your values, the courage of your convictions, and faith in God, then you will not fail, fail, fail. America, America has always been the land of dreams. America, America, a nation of true believers. The story of America is the story of adventure. The story of America. Big dreams, humble beginnings. I hope it didn't overload. Oh, thank you, honey bunch.
Wow.
Oh, Justin, are you all crying? Oh, that's so great. That's great. That's so great. Thank you so much, guys. All the little birds congregating in the tree in front of my window to hear your song. So beautiful, brought these to my ears. Oh, Sarah, thanks a million. So pleased the sun came out. Yeah, this is really gorgeous, Marie. And honestly, I have to thank you for just giving me strength. Every time I listen to you, I get more strength. And, you know, that whole thing about not being enough, it's very, very real. It's just very, very real. And we have to punch through it and just we need to be there for each other. We just have to be. And, you know, not being, you know, that separateness that we're feeling with our own families that don't believe anything that we're doing. I'm really learning the unconditional love now. I mean, but I have to keep reminding myself. I mean, even a friend the other day, she was like, oh, Biden's just, everyone loves Biden in Ireland. And I'm like, so I sent her this thing that Sky News Australia did on Biden, which was ridiculous. I mean, just showing everything up. And she's like, oh, to be honest, I don't want to know anything about American politics. And I'm like, you're the one that told me you thought he was just the great guy. And then I told other friends at home and they're just like, oh yeah, well, he's related now to the Blewitts, and he's related, who's a Jesuit priest. More things that keep coming up. And then he's related to somebody else, and he's related to the Irish rugby player. So what? You know, I mean, people are so stuck on the status of what somebody is, which is, they don't have no idea what these people are really like. Like, and I'm saying like I do. Well, we kind of do from what we've been hearing for the last year, you know. So, you know, first of all, we're willing to go there, and now we're willing to stay here, and you know, and do the work, and it is hard, and honestly, I really feel that the food is the way forward, and I've started remembering. I'm off dairy now, maybe 3 weeks. And huge. I mean, the mucus thing for a singer, it's massive. And I've yet to do one whole day of juice, but today could be a good day because I've done nothing but juice today. So yeah, I mean, we just need support. We really do. And Kazri and Kira, thank you for doing that little Facebook group, because I you know, I usually just dismiss all those group things, and I just went, oh, the 2Ks are here. And I went into it and I went, oh, this could be really, really good, because we really need support, guys. We really do. And the food is the biggest part, I feel. And we are saying goodbye. And I, you know, and we need to say that it's okay to say goodbye. I mean, it's okay to say goodbye to our friends and some of our family too. And not in that we'd never see them again, but just in like, we can't have their stuff on us anymore. And I feel like I'm not angry anymore. And I'm thinking, is that because I'm not meeting anybody? Is that because I'm fine and I'm all up on the mountain with the monks, and then all of a sudden, oh, your visa is expired, you have to come down now, by the way. And then you come down and go, yeah, I hate everyone down here. You know, the whole point is being with these people who we can't resonate with and not triggering. That's the biggest thing. And you know, it's easy to do it when I'm on my own, and then I'm like, I'm not angry. I mean, my son, you know, like, I'm telling him for 6 months, you know, and at the start he said, you know, I want to believe it all. And you just think that every mainstream is the villainous mainstream. Well, yeah, because they really are. And they just can't get it. And I had to let it go. I had to hand it all over. And it's very hard with your children, you know. And you're lucky you have the little angels that they're at that age. And now they're embracing the food. It's just amazing. It's just, I mean, picture what the future would be for these beautiful angels. Like, you know, my brother has a little one, Freya. And I told you before, she came to him in her, before she was born and all that. And she's just pure light. And honestly, when I'm down, that's my go-to. I picture her laughing, and that's how I can come back. And children can do that for us. And just thanks so much, guys, for everything today. It's just been amazing. Thanks, Marie. I'm so grateful to you.
I'm so grateful for you too. Thank you. You know, this has been so much fun. Say hi, Sarah. She's saying hi to you. Adam's like, who's that? He already knows. Beautiful women. Thank you, Siobhan. I thank you for the acknowledgement. It feels wonderful. And I was saying to Charlie and Colleen this morning, you know, this format, you know, of just being together and the level of freedom and all of that has been so amazing, because it just took away so many of the barriers. And I think that's why we're all so happy to be here and so resonating, because we're not having to wear all of the masks, literally. So it's beautiful. It really is. It really is. And thank you for all the love on Adam right now. Look at the little dog.
He's so gorgeous. And just on the masks, I went to 3 different places in the last 3 days: a petrol station, a hardware store, and some other shop. And I just said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting the mask on. Nobody said anything. Now, I am in Trump country, I think, here in Virginia, but not Alexandria. It's more southern. But yeah, and nobody said anything. Even I think they were even delighted that they didn't have to actually, you know, put the game on. And yeah. Oh yes, and the other thing about the V for Vendetta mask, you know, Colleen is talking about March 1st, that we the people are saying no more masks, and that, like, even if we do it online, get that V for Vendetta mask and everyone put it up on online on March 1st, and that's it after that.
Wow.
Because it's up to us. It is really up to us.
Yeah.
Adam, you don't ever wear a mask, I hope. You have a beautiful face. How would you ever put a mask on that beautiful face?
Mom?
He does have
You need a little nap, Adam, do you? Go to the beach and you can, well, you probably just start waking up there because you can go into the sea.
No.
Yes, you do. Do you body surf?
Yes.
Yeah, what else? Do you bodyboard?
No.
That's a cute. I just told him, I was like, that lady over there, she can talk to flowers. He was like,
Cool. Cool. I actually started talking to trees and hugging them way more often.
oh, trees are so amazing. I love trees.
Yeah, they really are. You know, it's funny. I was walking yesterday and I found this trail and I was hugging a tree and I went, oh, it's warm because the sun is warming the tree. And then I went, oh, is it colder on the other side of the tree? And it wasn't. I'm like, the tree is never cold. The tree is never cold. Just thought I'd share that.
Something. I mean, it's about the inner warmth, right? Inner peace.
I know. And then you
So
don't.
let's. Do you want to give everybody kisses and thank you so much. I think some of you guys are gonna roll out of here. Siobhan, I'd love to hear more music, but I think that this is. I don't know.
What? Is it not sounding right?
Oh, it sounds great.
Oh,
If you guys need to run out, go ahead and run out. But Siobhan, would you do one more song for us?
I'll do the one that I wrote after the Bible decode from listening to Amber. That would be a laugh.
Okay, that would be great because I haven't. I'm sorry, I haven't listened.
That's okay. You said the internet was terrible. I'm going to push this mic away. Was it feeding back on the last song with the mic?
No, it's good.
No,
And if you
okay.
guys need to roll out, go ahead. We love you so much, and we'll be in touch. Yeah, and we'll do this again next week.
Yeah, this was gone on when Amber said about we are the isness. Give me the isness. I just thought it was brilliant, and his face just makes me, happy because when he smiles, it's just that smile, So is this it? Connect the silver cord to the golden bell. Complete the Trinity, the child Adam. Become the lighthouse. Truth heals, lies divide. Don't hate the messenger, hate the message. Give me the isness. Give me the isness. Give me the isness. We are the currency. Come on, Adam. Give me the isness. Serotonin. Melatonin. Dopamine, the sacred secretion. They will bring you insight. They will bring you peace. God is the God of the living, not the dead. Give me the isness. Give me the isness. Give me the isness. We are the currency. These are the riches no moth can corrupt, no dies, no thief can steal in the night. We are beyond tarnish, everyone is on your side. Of doing righteous work comes righteous reward. Give me the isness. Give me the isness. Hi! Give me the isness. We are the currency. Give me the isness. Come on, Ruby. Give me the isness. Come on, Adam. Give me the isness. We are the currency. Give me the isness. Go, Kazri. Give me the isness. Give me the isness. We are the currency. One more time. Give me the isness. Give me the isness. Give me the isness. We are the currency. A little. Thank you, Ruby. Oh, thank you. You're so awesome. She just texted me in the chat. Look at your face. That's just gorgeous.
Love you, Siobhan.
We love you too. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. You were great. I loved it. It was so lovely sharing. It was really, I loved listening to you today. Thanks a million. All righty then. Well, we'll go off and have our isness day.
A great song. What a great song. Really, really good. So,
Ruby, why are you putting a face on?
no,
You don't want it to go, is it? You don't want it to finish? You don't want it to end?
he's going, let's pause it.
It's okay. We're going to pause ourselves now.
Now we just love being together, and I'm really looking forward to having you all down here. And yeah, we're gonna go look at some more land this afternoon, and that's what we're up to. So
Cool. Very cool. That's nice to just getting out of your, it's really, that's great.
the vibes
Nice to have a little plan. Yeah.
in this direction, because we're gonna manifest this beautiful dream.
Yeah. Thanks, Marie. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, everyone. Love you.
Guys, so much love.
Bye, Adam and Ruby.